see, as you are tuning in, love to know, again, number one, where you're tuning in from. Number two, love to know 3 things you're grateful for. Drop it in the comment section. We're going to go ahead and get started. Today's topic, I see more friends from India. Welcome. Oh, let's see. Friends from Las Vegas, grateful for my business. God give me amazing talents and family. Grateful for life, family, and friends. Very nice. Cal, what's up, dude? Nice to see you. And let's see, so we're going to start. Today's topic is 10 habits that will help build relationships. Now, these could be intimate relationships. This could be, we're back. This could be intimate relationships. This could be business relationships. This could be friendships. It's any relationship. And the very first thing that'll help build a relationship instead of break a relationship is simply being curious. Being curious about the other person. Asking, how they're doing. Just being curious about them. Wanting to know about who they are. Wanting to know about how they feel. Wanting to know about their life. Wanting to know about their thoughts and emotions. Wanting to know about their business. Wanting to know about their family. Just the simple fact of being curious, deeply curious about this other person will build a relationship. The opposite of that is usually what happens when we get satiated, meaning we've been around a person for so many days or weeks or months or years, we stop getting curious about the person. We go, oh, I know them. I know what they think. I know how they feel. I know what they've been through. And we stop being curious. And the moment you stop being curious, it'll start to slowly tear down the relationship because you lose the interest, you lose the excitement, you lose the curiosity, which is the key here. And so number one, being deeply curious about this other human being. And I would throw this out there. How often have you known someone your whole life, a friend, a family member, only to later find out something about them you've never known before and gone, wow, I didn't know they believed that. I didn't know they did that kind of stuff. I don't know they were into that. Oh my gosh, how interesting. Or how unique, or how weird, or how strange, or how funny, or how silly. But you learn something about them. And so, number one thing, if you want to write this down, that'll build relationships is being curious, staying curious. Number two, taking time to fuel up each day, mentally, emotionally, physically, yourself, so that you have the extra energy and emotional fuel and fortitude to pour into this other person. Something really important. So often you hear people say, I'm just so exhausted, I don't have any energy left to give to the relationship, to share with this other person. And so another big thing here, taking time to fuel up emotionally and mentally and physically each day, building your energy so that when you're with this other human in an intimate relationship or a friendship or a business relationship, you have excess energy to pour into them in that moment. So number one is being curious. Number two is taking time to fuel up so you can pour into them, which leads to number three, which is going to the relationship to give instead of get. Now I'm going to throw a quick little caveat here because people learn this. And the very first step if you're building relationships is people reach out and they just straight up ask you for something. They're like, hey, I wanted to connect because I'm doing something and will you send me $1,000? You're like, wait a minute. You showed up to get something, not to give something. And I'm sure you can justify why you're asking, but show up to give. Find a way to add value. Find a way to give to this person. The next step you hear people say is they go, oh, show up to give. Got it. And they show up and they do something that's incredibly generous, yet truly is unconsciously kind of selfish. Which you show up in someone's life and you say, hey, what can I do to add value to you? Now, as kind as that sounds, it's a very kind statement. The reason I say it's unconsciously selfish is because you're asking the other person to stop what they're doing, to come and learn about you, to figure out what talents or skills or strengths you have, then to scan their world and figure out, could they be helpful there? I don't know. And then they come back and ask you, and then they go over here. And what's happening is you're taking them out of their zone to see if you could be helpful somehow. I'll give you the third way, which makes the most sense. We teach this in one of our high performance programs. If you go to highperformancekw.com, it'll give you 86% off the price of our normal program there. Just a side bonus for those of you listening closely. But we teach this. Identify the person you want to connect with. If you really want to go there to give instead of get, watch what they're doing. Pay attention to what they're interested in. Pay attention to what they're talking about. Pay attention to what they're working on. Pay attention to, look at their Instagram and read their stories. Watch their blog. Pay attention to their live feeds. Look at all the posts they do. Catch the thread of what they're doing, and then say, what's 10 ways I could add unique value to that they're not seeing right now? Then do the work and create the value, and then bring it to them and say, hey, I really wanted to connect. I observed everything you're up to. I noticed you this is something I can do for value. I created it and I did it for you. And here you go. Here it is. If hopefully we can connect someday. If not, I hope you enjoy the value. Thank you so much. Wonderful. And you will blow these people's minds. I've had people do this to me after they listen to one of these. They blow my mind, and we've become friends. We work together on projects because they really stepped up and delivered value. They didn't ask a damn thing except for to be able to offer that value, and they found unique value to add that I wasn't doing already, and we've become buddies. Along with this, one of my friends used this concept, and I'll tell you the story later, but it turned into a $10 million deal in business because he went there to add value instead of trying to get something. He didn't ask the guy for coffee. He didn't try to meet up. He just literally said, what could I add value to this guy's life in a way that he's not currently seeing that I could instantly add that value? So go to give versus get, number 3. Number 4, listen to understand instead of to respond. Nothing wrong with responding when you're talking to people, but most people, one of the biggest challenges we have is people listen to respond, meaning they listen just long enough until they hear what they want to say, and then they stop listening and let you keep talking until you take a breath of air, and then they insert whatever it is they want to say. And so number 4, you want to listen to understand. I put up a Facebook post earlier today, or an Instagram post, and really simply it talks about level 3 listening. Level 1 is listening just to respond, where you're not even listening, you're just listening so you can insert your thoughts. Level 2 is you're listening to all the facts and details and how it affects the person. Level 3 is you're really listening to what they say and what they don't say. You're listening to how they say it. You're listening to what things they leave out of the story. You're listening to what things they focus on in the story. And you're experiencing all the feelings and emotions that they're experiencing while they're sharing. You're taking in all of who they are and experiencing in that moment. So number 4, listen to understand. Number 5, oh my gosh, this is huge. Praise and appreciation. And I've watched couples. I'm currently going through level 2 certification with Gottman, who's marriage and family therapist specialist that studied 3,000 couples for 30 years. And one of the biggest things in building a relationship is praise and appreciation. Constant acknowledgement of what your partner is doing right and what you appreciate about them, instead of constantly nagging or negging or breaking down or pointing out what's wrong with your partner. And so a big element here is constant praise and appreciation. In the workplace, there's been research done where they asked all the employers, the owners, what is it that you think your employees, your team wants more of? And all the owners said, they want more money, they want to work less, they want bonuses. I said, okay, so they asked the team, what do you guys want more of? And the team says, the cost national study, they said, we want more employee recognition. And then they went back to the boss and they told the boss, your team says they want more employee recognition. And the boss said, we do that. We give them bonuses. They can win trips and awards and plaques and, all this stuff. And the team went, that's not what we're talking about. We want to be recognized and thanked and appreciated for what we do each day. What does that mean? That means when you ask someone on your team to do something like, hey, can you fax this for me? Say thank you. Say, wow, I really appreciate you taking the time to do that, and I appreciate the effort you're putting in it, and I appreciate the fact that you did it. It's amazing. Thank you for that. Now, if we rewind this, I'll bring it back to the home. This is something my wife and I practice regularly after we learned it. We did not do this regularly before we learned it. When I go take out the trash, I grab the bag, pull it out, my wife will stop and go, wow, thank you so much for doing that. And I'll be like, doing what? She's like, taking out the trash. I really appreciate that. I'm like, well, someone had to do it. She's like, no, but I just wanted to say thank you and that I very much appreciate you taking the time to do it. My little cup goes boop, 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 boop. And even though it's simple, it's silly, we have a rule. Turn on the praise and appreciation faucet, break the handle, and never let it turn off. We say thank you to each other for making the bed, doing the laundry, every single little thing, making dinner, cleaning the dishes, cleaning the kitchen. Those are things I do that she says thank you to me for. And we go back and forth, constantly thanking, praising, and appreciating each other. And it's amazing how it keeps the love tank full. But this is also great for clients. This is great. I think one of my mentors, an event we go to, at the end of every event, he stops, he looks every person in the eyes, and he says, thank you for choosing me. Thank you for allowing me to play this role in your life and business. There's a lot of options out there in the world, and I wanted to personally say thank you for choosing me. It means a lot to me. I will work my hardest to never let you down and always deliver. And I just wanted to say this means the world to me that you chose to be here. I'm like, oh, thank your clients. I was like, wow, what a concept. Sending a thank you note or looking your client straight in the eye and saying, thank you for choosing me. Thank you for allowing me to play this role in your life. It means the world to me. That builds relationships. Number 6, this is important. There's a door and window concept. And so often when we get upset with a friend or a partner or a business relationship, we put a door up, a wall between us and the person we actually love and care about. Then we open a window to go communicate how we feel about it with someone outside the relationship. And the rule is, if you want to build a relationship, you keep a wall up around the relationship and you keep the window open inside of the relationship. Meaning, if you're upset, you talk about what the person you're upset with. If you're excited, you talk about it with the person you're excited with. But you keep an open window with your partner and you keep a closed wall or door to everyone else because it's none of their damn business. And so open the window to your partner, close the door to everyone else, and that keeps building the relationship. If you open the window to everyone else and close the door or wall to your partner, that will eventually cause the relationship to crumble over a loss of trust. Next thing, number 7, things that build a relationship, both partners choosing to have a growth mindset. Choosing to believe that the way you improve is through effort. Choosing to believe that no matter how hard it gets, as long as we keep trying, eventually we'll make it through. Choosing to believe that even if there's friction or hard moments, the true way to get through it is together. That growth mindset is a game changer for building relationships. You can read the book Mindset by Carol Dweck if you need more on that. Number 8, being grateful for what's right in the relationship instead of constantly focusing on what's wrong. If you want to know how to end any relationship, any business relationship, any intimate relationship, any friendship, just focus on everything that's wrong about the relationship and ignore everything that's right about it, and you'll be out of there pretty quick. I'll give you an actual ratio. Research shows if you have more negative than positive thoughts, feelings, and emotions about the relationships and interactions, the relationship's done. If you have 1 positive to 1 negative, it's done. If you have 3 positive to every 1 negative, it's stable. And if you have 6 positive to every 1 negative, the relationship is growing. Know the ratio, choose what to focus on. There's always something going right if you look for it, and there's always something going wrong if you look for it. Train your brain to look and create those 6 to 1 positive to negatives constantly. Meaning, if a negative thought, emotion, or feeling pops up, instantly choose to replace it with 5 positives or 6 positives right there in the moment. Don't wait for it. Don't hope it turns out right in the long run. Choose to build the relationship by choosing to pour on the positive of what's right with it instead of what's wrong with it. Doesn't mean you don't focus on the stuff that needs to improve. You certainly do. But you constantly focus on and keep your mind locked on the goodness of it. Number 9, speak your partner's love language. I was working with a client the other day, and they said, well, I'm afraid that my partner wants me to do something different than what I am. Now, the ultimate fit is what you want to give most to the relationship is what your partner wants to receive most. That's the ultimate fit. If by odd, amazing life chance, what your love language is not your partner's love language, then you're going to have to learn how to speak their language, and they're going to have to learn how to speak your language. You cannot just sit there speaking your own language expecting them to somehow feel the love. So you got to learn to speak your partner's love language. In business, whoa, like a big boom. In business, what that means is learning what's most important to them and learning to speak their language, learning to serve it up for them, and so that all their needs, wants, and desires are met. Number 10, this is a big one, choosing to align your rule books. Because when you form a new partnership, a new business relationship, a new intimate relationship, a new friendship, there's two people getting together, and each person in their hands is holding a rule book to the game of life that y'all are about to play. And if two people sit down at the same board game, and let's say one person has a rule book for Monopoly, and the other person has a rule book for Clue, you're going to have a pretty funky game. Because we're going to say, okay, do you want to be the thimble, or do you want to be the train? And the person's going to go, oh, since I think you're pretty cool, I got a lot of emotions. If it's intimate relationship, I got a lot of lovey feelings about you. I know you meant it's Mrs. Plum in the living room with the wrench, so I'm going to write that down for you. The person goes, okay, crazy pants, I'll let you be the train then. And we play the game, and by year 2 or 3 or month 6 or the 10th day together, you're thinking, what in the crazy sauce pants is wrong with this human? Why do they not understand how to play this game? And the simplicity is, you both sat down with a different rule book. You both are trying to play the same game with an incredibly different set of rules, values, and beliefs. Or you might even have the same value, number 1, of love, or growth, or profit, or whatever it is that's most important in that relationship, or business, or personal relationship. But you have different rules. One person says, in order to feel love, you have to talk softly and be kind and generous. And the other person says, in order to feel love, you got to talk loudly and be excited and passionate. That's going to cause some conflict. They're both trying to get to love. They're doing it in very different ways, and they're pissing each other off, or hurting each other's feelings is another way to say it. So those are the 10 things, top to bottom, real quick, as a summary. Number 1, be deeply curious about your partner. Number 2, take time to fuel up so you can pour in every day. Number 3, go to the relationship to give versus get. Number 4, listen to understand them, not just to respond to them. Number 5, appreciate and praise them constantly. Number 6, open the window to each other and close the door to the outside world instead of the opposite of that. Number 7, it can maintain a growth mindset. Number 8, be grateful for what's right with it instead of what's wrong with it. Number 9, learn to speak your partner's love language. And number 10, choose to align so you're playing the same game with the same rules together. Hopefully this is useful. If it is, please share this video with someone you love. I believe that sharing is caring. We love caring people around here, so make sure to share this with someone. And I very much look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow. I'm going to go have some fun this afternoon with my wife. Check out the view. Okay, see you guys later.